Times has released a massive follow-up investigation into the Varsity Blues scandal of 2019. Now, if you've forgotten what that scandal was all about, it basically had to do with the fact that there were some bribes taking place to get the kids of wealthy parents into prestigious universities, including USC. And I'm so happy that there was a follow-up to this because I was curious if the scandal was broader than what we had previously known. And what the LA Times has uncovered is that USC, the University of Southern California, basically was engaging in this decades-long scheme to get rich kids admitted into their school in exchange for bribes from their parents. And the ways in which they would get their kids who maybe didn't perform so great in high school into these schools was through the athletics programs, which really irritates me because think about how many kids dedicate their free time to any athletics, right? Whether it's the softball team, whether it's rowing, I don't know, whatever they do. I'm not a big sports person, but it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, and people have to earn it. So the idea of someone being able to like buy it is really infuriating. So look, we'll get into the details of what they found momentarily. First, a few more details about what we have already learned as a result of the scandal in 2019. So if you are unfamiliar with it, Varsity Blues, that scandal broke in 2019 and focused on one individual named William Singer. Singer was a college counselor who would basically help wealthy families get their underqualified children into college through both lies and bribes. Many of those children were admitted to the University of Southern California or USC. And the LA Times focused their follow-up investigation on USC specifically, which makes sense. USC is located in Los Angeles. And they found that Singer was only one small part of the problem. In fact, a number of administrators were all working to ensure that the kids of potential donors would be admitted into the school. And from the years of 2011 through 2018, well in excess of 200 college applicants whose families were rich or had connections at the university were admitted through the athletic department. 200 kids. Okay. So this was done through USC's so-called walk-on player program. Student athletes don't need the academic credentials of other potential USC applicants or students because they can lean on their athletic abilities. And if a student is admitted as a walk-on for a certain sports team, they aren't actually required to play on that team once they start college. I'm gonna pause. I'll pause. Thoughts, John? You did some sports, right? Didn't you do like the Quidditch team or something when you were in college?
No, that sounds awesome. I wish that I had, but no, I did not. I played like club sports and stuff. I didn't play for. Anyway, shut up. Get off my back. I'm a jock now. I watch sports, so maybe I'll lose some of my jock cred when I say like this scandal is that a program that allows people to come in based on their athletic achievements rather than their academic achievements is being manipulated to allow people who also don't have athletic achievements to get in, which is a scandal. Also, why are people being admitted to colleges based on their physical gifts as opposed to their mental gifts? Like, I don't understand why sports are so intimately tied to college, and I never have. I like some college sports, and if it helps, bring in people with different, I don't know, experiences of various types, I guess that is a benefit. But
it brings in the big bucks. That's what it brings in. It brings in the dough. That's what it brings in.
Really? Yeah. These universities, I understand, Anna. I went to UConn. I know how this works.
But like the University of Southern California is among the private universities that has like the most expensive tuition. How much money do you guys need? Seriously, like how big does your endowment need to be? It's the whole thing is infuriating. I think the whole college system really needs to be reformed because the greed is disgusting. This behavior is disgusting. And I'm sorry I interrupted you. Please finish your point.
No, it's but again, the issue is, as with every other like call for reform to a system, the system has been set up this way to benefit the wealthy and well-connected. And as of right now, at least, we would need those wealthy and well-connected people to reform a system that they use or might hope to use to benefit their kids in the future. So they're going to be unlikely to want to do that. I think it absolutely sucks. I think, look, there's a lot of issues in education, and I don't know where this ranks. In raw numbers, it's not that many people, but it's like, how many more advantages did the kids of wealthy families need? I honestly think we should have higher expectations for kids coming from wealthy families because they've had all of these benefits. And so when this sort of thing happens, it also makes me think, like, when you see the right blow up over, like, why are they canceling student loan debt when I paid my loans or whatever? Like, considering all of the benefits that already flow to the rich, maybe we can afford to go out of our way to target some things that might almost exclusively help the poor. But yeah.
I'm actually going to pause and share something personal about you, if you don't mind, because it shows like what a good person you are. Obviously, you've been pretty vocal and in favor of helping or canceling student loans. And you did pay off your student loans. And I remember when you were in like your final year of paying them off, you were like living, you weren't spending any money on yourself. Like every single dollar you were making that you could like give up for paying off your student loans was going toward your student loans.
It was a few years of that, yes.
Yeah, I remember that. And I give you a lot of credit because I think, look, I'm the same way. If I've paid off my loans and now there's a better system that can help students out, great. Like, why am I going to be salty about that? It's kind of like, oh, I had a family member who passed away from an illness that there wasn't a cure for. And now there's research to find a cure, but I don't want that. I don't want that.
That is great. I've never heard that example as a metaphor for. That's a great point.
Yeah. So let's get back to what USC was up to. So going back to the whole like walk-on athlete situation, they don't necessarily ever have to play. And even if they do, they don't have to play well, which, oh, nice. Thank you for hurting the other athletes on these sports teams at the university. And that actually made it easy for USC administrators to pass off the children of potential donors as walk-on athletes when in reality, they didn't have the academic achievements to get accepted or even the athletic credentials to get accepted. So we know that this is pretty in the weeds. So here's an example to help kind of explain how this played out. So the Times reports that a man by the name of Sarath Ratanavadi wanted his son to attend USC. And so the admissions officer who reviewed his son's file termed him a mediocre student at best with grades at a Bangkok private school that USC equated to 4 Ds and 2 Fs. That's not good. That's not fantastic academic achievement, clearly. But there's a catch. According to the LA Times, his father is one of the richest men in Thailand, and money talks, or as my dad would say, the cash is talking. So after Ratanavadi donated $3 million to the Trojan golf team, USC found a spot for his son. A special admissions committee for sports recruits admitted the teen as a walk-on golfer. Quote, I don't think there is any way he will contribute to us winning or losing. Then golf coach Chris Zombri emailed a colleague months after Ratanavadi's son was admitted in 2015. But he added, his dad is now a huge supporter of USC athletics. So although Dean of Admissions, Tim Brunold, oversaw a team of about 80 people who handled more than 65,000 undergraduate applications each year, Brunold carved out time in his schedule to meet personally with potential donors and their college-age relatives recommended by the athletic department, including Ratanavadi and his father, according to correspondents memorializing the visits. Like, I love that it's all like there's a paper trail of this. Like, fantastic. Good job, guys. You guys really nailed it here. So he also regularly received spreadsheets of applicants favored by athletics, such as a 2015 list that displayed Ratanavadi's, sorry, I know I'm probably mispronouncing his name. I'm doing my best, but his son's SAT scores and GPA with the notation 3 mil to men's golf Thailand. Everything is so corrupt, John. It's so corrupt. Every facet of life has been corrupted.
Yeah. And the one added layer of irony here is, like, ironically, the children of the wealthiest man in Thailand would be those best positioned to be fine if they never got into college. They'll be okay. They can start a business or just live off the interest on their inheritance, but they need to take a spot that someone might desperately need to have a chance at 1/1000th of the wealth that their family has.
It's so frustrating. And look, to California's credit, they have now outlawed like legacy admissions, which is good, right? Like if we're going to do away with affirmative action, why the hell do students who might not have the academic achievement necessary to get admitted otherwise get admitted because, they had parents who went there or their parents happened to be wealthy donors to the university? It's just, there's a lack of fairness there, clearly. And so it's one of the things that California has done correctly, one of the good things they've done in recent years. But I also want to note that you should read the full LA Times report. There's a lot of other interesting details in there. And I also want to be clear that some of the coaches were unaware of the scheme. So not all the coaches were like involved in this. Like the then assistant volleyball coach, Jason Kennedy, wrote the following about the daughter of Bob Grise, who's an investment fund founder. If Grise's daughter is in a position where she can walk on and her family can financially support the program, since USC is a private school and privately funded, there are always considerations for those sports or situations. USC will basically grant us a roster exemption and fast track her to a spot on the team. So some of them are aware, others aren't. Definitely read the report. It is gross that this is going on, and I feel terrible for the actual athletes that are getting screwed over by this, who worked really hard to, make it or to be recruited onto these teams. And I feel terrible for the students who work really, really hard. They dedicate themselves to academics to ensure that they get accepted in a fair way. This is not a fair system, and it really does gross me out.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.